Hey, hey, beautiful beings of light. It is Mandy and happy Friday. I trust everyone is doing amazing and that you guys are having an awesome day. I'm trying to see how good my connection is here. Last time I did a live Facebook video, it was sort of delayed and kind of off a little bit. So I'm trusting, I'm like watching myself, I'm watching my mouth to see if everything's lining up. And it looks like we're pretty good so far. Do me a favor, once you jump on, comment below and say hi. Go ahead and post your favorite emoji that right now is representing how you're feeling today. It's Friday, so I'm sure most of you guys are feeling super amazing and excited about the weekend. I know Friday is usually a really good day for most people, right? Because then you have the weekend to do whatever it is that you desire to do. So I wanted to jump on here really quick. I posted this morning on my Facebook page because I had this on my heart where I desire to talk more about forgiveness. And remembering that forgiveness is for us and that we get to give ourselves permission to actually forgive ourselves. So I'm choosing to know, let's see. I'm choosing to know if I have a good connection or if it's delayed, because last time it was doing something and now it's kind of like doing it again. What's up, Facebook? What's up, Facebook, with not giving me the best reception for my Facebook Live videos? Either way, I'm going to talk about this, and if you guys are annoyed because it doesn't match up with my mouth, then you just don't have to look at my video, then just listen to what I have to say, because obviously it's a very powerful message, and that could be another reason why it's not coming through clearly, is because sometimes when things are of that nature, and because I am very powerful, like we have an effect on electronics and all kinds of good stuff, so I choose to make it fun and easy. Either way, the message today is about forgiveness, and we get to remember, first of all, that forgiveness is for us, right? They always say that when you have unforgiveness against another person, it's basically like you drinking the poison and expecting the other person to feel the effects of it. Let's just use that word. They actually say something different. But in other words, if you have unforgiveness and you're harboring anger and unforgiveness, then you're not doing anyone any good. You're not serving any purposes. And if anything, you're only hurting yourself. So we get to give ourselves permission to forgive ourselves. And what that means is that we are literally like 3-year-old kids walking around in adult grown-up bodies. Most people haven't realized that yet. But when you come to a certain level of consciousness, you begin to understand that our personality and things were developed and, basically from the ages of 0 to 7, that there was a lot of things that went on in our life that, imprinted us, that supported us in our personalities, shaping our personality, shaping who we are. Also that whenever we were at that age, we were basically in a hypnotic state. So we were very open. We were like sponges. And so chances are whatever you had going on in your life as you were growing up, you took those things on, okay? And unfortunately, we didn't have the intellectual capacity to understand that, these things were of adult nature, or these were things that were going on in the world, and that these things, didn't necessarily have to do with us. And so we took on a lot of things. We took on a lot of other people's pain. We took on a lot of other people's, challenges and things that were going on. I use this example a lot. Maybe you're at home and maybe you're in front of the TV and you're playing with your toys, and maybe your parent came home, one of your parents came home and was yelling, get your toys, go to your room, or something of that nature, and you took that on as feeling unloved or unworthy, and you took that on as that it wasn't safe for you to play with your toys, and it wasn't safe for you to be happy and to be a child and things of that nature. But once again, you didn't have the intellectual capacity to understand at that time what was going on. And so these things that happened as we were growing up, like I said, we're essentially between like the ages of 3 and 7 and adult grown-up bodies, if you will. So we didn't have the intellectual capacity to understand what those things actually were, and what was really going on. And so we took that stuff upon ourselves, okay? And I talk a lot about how we're energetic, emotional beings, and that we become imbalanced energetically and emotionally before we become imbalanced physically. I myself had my own fair share of health challenges in the past that I overcame. I also, drank a lot of alcohol in the past. I've given up alcohol for like 2.5 years. I also took antidepressants for 16 years, and I've been off of them for 6 years. So the reality is that once we come to these understandings that a lot of what we have going on, especially physically with health challenges, is stuff that resulted from our past traumas, and likely, very, very likely, our childhood traumas. And so when we can dig deep and figure out what those things are, we can resurrect them, bring them to the surface, we can love them, we can forgive them, and we can support ourselves in healing whatever that was that happened to us back then. So, forgiveness is for us. Forgiveness simply it's pretty much the answer to everything. If you have challenges in your life, forgiveness is probably the answer, okay? So finding forgiveness in your heart for yourself is number one. Finding forgiveness for the other person. And I know this can be challenging, especially when you're faced with trauma and you have things going on. And maybe you feel like someone did something to you, but we get to remember that no one ever does anything to us, right? We hurt ourselves. We allow ourselves to experience whatever we experience. We allow ourselves to be hurt. No one else can actually hurt us, okay? Yes, we will feel pain, and we can feel pain. That's part of human nature. But at the same time, no one actually hurts us, okay? If you've ever heard of the book called The 4 Agreements, you may choose to Google that. One of the 4 agreements is to not take anything personal. A lot of times when people make decisions in their life and when they make choices and when they do things that they do, most of the time that has to do with how they're actually coping with situations in their world, okay? We're all completely, absolutely different. I mean, what is there, like 6 billion people on this planet, and no 2 people are alike. Even 2 twins that grow up in the same household, they're not the same. They've had different experiences, different perceptions. Their vision or their reality that they've created is based on their perception, so it would be completely different than the other person. So just thinking of that no 2 people are alike, that's why we can live our lives and have love and compassion for other people, and understanding that we are all different and that we're all on our each individual journey. And once again, the phrase, I give myself permission to forgive myself, comes from the fact that, once again, we're around the ages of like 3 to 7, and our subconscious mind is the powerhouse. Our subconscious mind is our feeling world, okay? Would you tell a little 3-year-old, fake it till you make it, or whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or it's okay here, just have a cookie, go to your room? No, you wouldn't tell that to a 3-year-old. Chances are you would hold a 3-year-old, you would love a 3-year-old, you would talk to them in a very nurturing manner, you would listen to the needs of the 3-year-old, you would allow them to cry, you would show them love, you would remind them that they're safe, and that's what we actually get to do for ourselves, even as adult grown-up beings. So one of the, I guess you call it assignments or suggestions that I usually have for my clients is to do mirror work, where you're actually looking at yourself in the mirror, you're looking into your eyes, and you're telling yourself, I give myself permission to forgive myself. Because when you do that, you are telling your psyche or your subconscious mind to release the resistance and to give yourself permission to actually forgive yourself. So it's much deeper in the phrase of, I give myself permission to forgive myself, okay? So you're actually saying that, you're doing mirror work. Also, another really beautiful healing modality is to take a pillow or to take a teddy bear, or something that, has significance to you. I actually have a picture of myself when I was a little girl, and so a lot of times I'll take that picture and I'll hold it with like a pillow, and I'll, in my mind, this is my little girl and I'm holding her, right? It's my little Mandy that I'm holding, and I will have a conversation and I will, support her in knowing that she is safe, she is loved, that she's protected, all of these things to, support myself basically in healing. So that's another really beautiful thing that you can do to support yourself. And once again, just remembering that forgiveness is for us, and that chances are, if you have stuff going on in your life, that forgiveness would be the answer, and whatever way that looks like. Sometimes people have challenges forgiving themselves, and we can't force someone to forgive themselves. We are all, on our each individual journey. We're on no specific timetable, and some people require time to heal, more than other people require time to heal. Some people require time to process things more than others. Sometimes people, it's not even anything intellectual that you can process in your mind or in your brain. It's literally something that it takes time to process emotionally. And so remembering that, one of my truths and one of my beliefs is that everything is always in divine order. And so when I think about any situations that have happened in my life, then I know that those situations required happening just the way that they did in the physical realm to support me in the divine realm, meaning to support me in the spiritual divine realm, to break me wide open, to support me in having realizations about myself and maybe where I've been guarded, maybe where I haven't let love in, maybe where I have, withheld or withdrew my love, maybe where I had a lot of fears and insecurities and just false, beliefs and lies. Because the reality is that we make up these stories when we're little kids to protect us. We make up these stories literally because we're humans and we are in survival mode. So a lot of times our mind, especially our subconscious mind, will create these thoughts, will create these stories, will do these things to support us in keeping us safe, if you will. And that's why we obviously have a conscious mind, and we can make make our conscious decisions and make conscious effort to be conscious and aware of the things that we have going on and how these stories of our past have shaped us in our lives. And I personally can attest to that, looking back at my life, the decisions that I made, things I did do, things I didn't do, choices that I made, turning to alcohol to suppress my reality because I wasn't happy, taking antidepressants thinking that a pill was the answer to actually feel happiness. I mean, there's so many things, but when you become more awake and more aware and you begin to see that you are the creator of your reality, and you begin to see that everything in your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner world, and that most of the time your biggest fears are what you're actually creating. It's what's coming true for you. And that can sort of be a double-edged sword. It's like, okay, I'm creating it so that I can face it, so that I can go through it, so that I can grow through it, so that I can heal from it, so that I can transform from it, and so that I can change and be my highest self, although it doesn't feel like the most pleasant thing at the time, okay? I can completely relate, trust me. So I believe that everything is for the greatest growth and expansion of our soul, and when we can come from that place, and we can come from a place of love and compassion, when we can really forgive ourselves for whatever it is that we've done that supported us in coping with our lives, even if it was something that we feel hurt another person or caused challenges for another person, we get to forgive ourselves, even if it's something that ended relationships, ended friendships, maybe we ignored someone's advice. I mean, there's so many different ways you can look at this, but whenever you really can just dig deep and give yourself permission to forgive yourself, you forgive other people. I mean, it took me a long time. I told you guys I grew up in a household that was abusive, the way that my stepdad was. I had a lot of anger, I had a lot of challenges, and for a really long time I used to say, I hate him and this and that, and then obviously I, turned the other cheek, I guess you'd say. I choose to know, but I went through a lot of stuff, a lot of therapy, a lot of classes at church. I got baptized, obviously went on my own spiritual journey, become way more spiritual, like different things of that nature. And now I can honestly say that I love him, and I can understand why he was the way that he was, simply because he probably grew up in a household where he felt a lot of fear and he didn't have a lot of love, etc., etc. A lot of times when people are angry, it's really fear. Like, there's really only one thing here. There's really only one of us here because we're all connected. But really all there really is love, right? And so if you look at it like it's either love or it's fear, well, if it's not love, then it's fear. So when we can have compassion for other people and say, you know what, well, he was probably that really angry man because of his childhood, and maybe, he didn't get the love he required, and maybe he had, a lot of challenges or whatever it is. And so we start thinking about those things, then we can actually have compassion for other people. And like I said, sometimes having forgiveness for someone, especially during the middle of something traumatic or something challenging or something, that you just feel that it's really, something that you're not able to grasp yet, just give yourself time and do your best to focus on forgiveness, because, I really believe that forgiveness is the answer to everything. And when we can have forgiveness for ourselves and for others, and then we can have more love and compassion, then, we can transform our world, we can transform our lives. So I really believe that it's a beautiful thing, and I wanted to share that with you guys today. Also, while I have you guys on here, I see a bunch of people jumping on. You guys feel free to comment below and say hi if you choose. Anna Foster, Nita, how are you? Maurice, choose to know us, a bunch of other people. I think it was Tim Cox may have seen on there. Either way, feel my love and appreciation for you guys. I just wanted to talk about this because I feel like it's a really important topic, and I'm also posting right now a link to my brand new program. We're going to start on Monday, August the 13th. It's called Revitalize Your Life, and I'm really enthusiastic about this program. It's going to be basically mindset, but we're going to be detoxing mentally, physically, emotionally. I'm going to support you guys, if you choose, spiritually. I mean, whatever you're ready for, okay? Because consciousness is king, and I do believe that we attract certain people into our lives. There's no such thing as a coincidence, and souls require meeting each other to evolve and to grow, and there's no such thing as randomly meeting someone. I do believe in soulmates. I do believe that we meet certain people to support ourselves in our growth and expansion. And so it's just a really beautiful thing. And so we get to have our gratitude and our appreciation for that. And so I'm really enthusiastic about, like I said, this program. The past couple months I've actually, transformed radically, and I'm ready and excited and enthusiastic to teach people more about what I did to support myself on this journey, and to support other people on this journey as well. Because the reality is that our default is joy, and we're meant to be happy. We're meant to have, a life of peace and ease in all areas of our life. So feel my love and appreciation for each and every one of you guys. Happy, amazing, freaking Friday. I trust you guys are going to have a great rest of the day and a great weekend. And feel free to comment below this video, share this video if it resonates with you. Feel free to send me a private Facebook message if you're interested in my program that starts on Monday, August the 13th. Just click on that link, check out all the info, if it resonates with you, if anything that I've said, or if anything, you know, that really sparks some interest in you, then it might be time for you. Like I said, evolution of consciousness. There's no coincidences. A lot of times, you know, we meet people because we're ready. Our subconscious mind is ready. Spiritually, we're ready. We're ready to evolve, and we require support of another person to get to that level. Okay. Actually, I have Tilly right here with me because we've been running some errands. So let me not end the video. Let me not end the video without this sweet baby girl saying hello. And I will chat with you guys soon. All right. Mwah. Bye, guys.